Okay, so he's an SSR green character. Role is debuffer, which is actually very nice because when I first initially saw the video of him releasing, I was kind of hoping that they would release a character that would kind of complement Nobara, because Nobara really needs a lot of debuffs to actually function in terms of like how much damage output. So when I saw the reveal for Megumi being the next SSR character, I was really praying that he was a debuffer, so that way you can maximize Nobara's damage, and that's exactly what they did here. So let's see if he's actually a good debuffer or not. Yeah. So his focus is going to be combined, which means he's probably going to be doing taijutsu and jujutsu damage. So you'll probably be using memories that will kind of buff both. But he is a debuffer, so in most cases you might just be running a supportive memory in case, right? So he cannot Black Flash, of course. So let's read skill 1, and then skill 2, and then skill 3, and then the ultimate. And then we'll obviously talk about the auto skills, which will be the passives, right? So we got the first one. Deals 150%. So keep in mind, we're going to be looking at all these at level 10 because, of course, if you're going to use them, you want to see their peak. So deals 150% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy, deals an additional 180% range jujutsu damage when the white divine dog is summoned, and then deals an additional 180% range jujutsu damage when the black divine dog is summoned. And then ignore the darkness status when divine dogs are attacking. So you can ignore the status effect, right? So you won't have to be worrying about darkness. On top of that, he will be doing taijutsu damage in the beginning until you do summon your dogs, and then your dogs will give you jujutsu damage. Now, just because they worded it like this, I'm assuming that there's two different ways to actually summon this based off of your skills, because skill 2 here you can see divine dog. There will probably be like some conditions that you have to fulfill to actually bring them out, but realistically you'll be dealing 150% and 180% together. And if there's like some kind of skill that allows you to summon both of them at the same time, then naturally you'll be doing all three, right? But as far as I see it, I don't think they would do that. I think it's just going to be you can kind of switch between the two. So I'm just going to assume that it will be the 180% jujutsu and then the 150% taijutsu. Not bad so far. It's pretty standard. I mean, it does pretty good damage modifiers, especially when you summon your divine dogs. So it's probably going to be a very used skill when you don't really have curse energy, or you're already have plenty of debuffs on the enemy. We'll see though. When it comes to debuffer characters, you kind of usually end up just spamming your debuffs until, literally the end of the fight. So next we have skill 2 divine dog. So this is probably going to be a big portion of his kit. So summons the white and black divine dog. Okay. So basically, I guess for skill 1, you probably will be able to get all this damage all in one, which is actually pretty nice because it's kind of like very similar to the blue Megumi. So he's going to be functioning in the same way, where once you have your Shikais out, once you have them out, you're going to be doing a lot of damage, because I mean you should have both of them out. But it seems to be here that you do have they do have an HP pool, so once they die, then you kind of lose them. So that is very nice. That kind of means that you want to maximize damage at a certain specific point. You want to use your skill 2 right before you do all your stuff, because they might die beforehand. Now, and let's continue reading. So they have 20% of your maximum HP, and then the enemy's damage dealt of 35% will go towards the divine dogs instead of the character. Disappear when the divine dog's HP reaches 0. So essentially, Megaman in a way kind of has like a damage reduction. Not really, but he has a little bit of survivability, considering the divine dogs will partially take some of the damage that he receives, which does give him survivability, which is very nice for a debuffer. You want to make sure that they survive, especially to the final turn where you're actually going to nuke at. So this is going to be very helpful. The only issue I see here is trying to maintain the dogs so that way they don't die when you want to nuke, right? So that's probably going to be a little bit finicky or weird to do it, but maybe there's more to the kit that haven't read yet that might actually make it better. Deals 380% range jujutsu damage to the selected enemy and increases the selected enemy's jujutsu damage received by 20% for 3 turns. So that means you'll be able to stack it 3 times. Of course, it does cost 25 curse energy. So you might want to have somebody on your team, like maybe Yuki, for example. So if you were to run a team, it'd probably be like Inumaki, Megumi, Yuki, and then of course Nobara, right, to maximize your damage output. Could be something like that. Of course, you could run buffers as well. Yaga definitely would be very nice with this Megamin as well, right? In terms of, trying to be the support and utility for your team. Okay, so not bad at all. Overall, that's actually really good. Next up, we have the change skill effect when the white and black divine dog has been summoned. So it will deal 620% range jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, 2 hits, and increases the selected enemy's jujutsu damage received by 30% for 3 turns. I'm not gonna lie, this is a really good skill. The biggest issue though with this skill that I kind of see is if you're doing score events and you are trying to put as much debuffs on the enemy as possible before nuking, because obviously you want to debuff them, right? And then yeah, you want to debuff them, but you want to make sure that you're not breaking them too fast. You want to make sure that when you're breaking them, you already have your ult for all your characters. But this does so you're probably gonna have to wait a couple turns before actually using this on score events because it's 620%. You don't want to accidentally kill the enemy before actually, before actually breaking them, because you don't want to break them too early. If you break them too early before getting enough debuffs, then you might not do the maximum damage output when you do use your ult. But overall, like when you're doing any other kind of content, like when you're doing tower or something like that, this is really good. Being able to increase the jujutsu damage they receive, and on top of that, like he's combined, so he does taijutsu and jujutsu, and he deals 620% on it. That's a lot. That is a lot. Yeah, this is really good. Really good character so far. Just judging off of what he's got here, I'm really liking what this character does. That's crazy. We've only been through 2 skills, and I already feel like he's definitely good. Next up, we have skill 3, which is going to be Strike. And this deals 220% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy, increases the ultimate gauge charging amount by 15% for 3 turns. Nah, bro. That's basically everything you need for when using nuke strats. This changes everything. If you're going to do like some kind of score event, you're probably just going to be spamming your skill 3 and it's only 10 cursed energy. Nah, that's crazy. You're probably just going to be using your skill 3 a big portion of the time. I'm not sure if ultimate gauge charge amount like stacks, but either way, you're probably going to use this first, and then you're going to kind of like mix and blend it with your skill 2. So you're going to be using your skill 3 once, and then you'll go into your skill 2, use it a couple times, and then go into your skill 3 again. So that way, the final couple turns, you'll be able to get your ultimate, and then boom, you'll nuke the enemy. That's actually crazy though. What the hell? Ultimate charge, ultimate God's charge amount. On top of that, he can debuff enemies and does really good damage. Like his modifier is high for a skill, and it's only 10 cursed energy, which is so good because now you don't have to worry about managing your cursed energy so much because it's only 10. So you'll get your no problem. Now that's without the divine dog. Now with the divine dog, obviously things are going to change a little bit, which is good. You're going to have to kind of like work around it. So you'll change the skill effect when the white divine dog is summoned, and you will deal 320% range jujutsu damage to the selected enemy. And then the cursed energy cost is 30. Now that kind of sucks because now you're kind of wasting, you need to use a lot more cursed energy to be able to activate this. Just for a little bit more damage, even though skill 2 is significantly better. You're better off using skill 2, you know what I'm saying? Because the 620% instead of 380%. Excuse me, 320%. Yeah, 620% to 320%. So it's like you're better off using this skill because it's only 25 cursed energy while this one's 30. So like once you summon the divine dog, it's kind of mid. But considering the fact that you can have both of them summoned, as long as they're both summoned, you're gonna do so much damage because you'll deal an additional 380% range jujutsu damage and lowers the selected enemy's damage by 30%. So this doesn't really matter too much, like realistically, but it does give survivability for the team. Realistically, the thing that we care the most about in this entire skill is going to be the ultimate gauge charging amount, because then you'll be able to do your ultimate more frequently. The rest is kind of makes it like inefficient because it's costs way more cursed energy when you still want to be using skill 2 because it's his most important part of his kit. So we'll see how that turns out his gameplay wise, but just based off on paper, he kind of looks really good despite the fact that even though these are good and they make him do more damage, I kind of feel like this isn't that much needed if you're trying to do like nuking strats. I mean, it could help you in certain cases, but the fact that it costs like your energy cost just goes up, it's gonna make this character really heavy for cursed energy usage. Let's continue. Deals an additional 220% melee taijutsu damage after Divine Dog has attacked. So this skill will definitely do a lot of damage, right? It will do a lot of damage. So I kind of take back the fact that I said Divine Dog is probably still better than skill 3. They have their uses, right? So like if you're trying to do damage, you're definitely going to be using skill 3 very frequently. This will help you increase your ultimate gauge charge amount, but I would only use strike when both have already summoned your Divine Dogs and they're both out. If only one's out, you're probably still not going to use skill 3, right? Because it's going to cost you too much energy. Only time that I would use it when there's one out is if only the black dog is out. If the black dog is out, then I would probably use skill 3 over a skill 2 if I don't need any more debuffs. And then increases ultimate charge gate amount by 25% 3 turns when changing skill effect or black divine dog is not summoned. Okay, wait, so then they kind of make it so that the white divine dog also, even if you only have the white divine dog and the black divine dog dies, it's still really good because you get 25% ultimate gate. Okay, wait a minute. Nah, this character's actually cracked. Oh my god, forget everything I just said, bro. Like skill 3 and skill 2 are both juiced. Skill 3 for trying to get your ultimate up quick and doing really high damage, and then skill 2 for debuffing and applying your dogs, which will then increase the amount of damage you do with the rest of your kit. He's just basically blue Megaman, but on crack. Easier to do because he's gonna be it's gonna be in a skill rather than your ult. That's crazy. All right, let's read up the ultimate. Because reading everything else, that's crazy. I want to see what the ultimate does. So you deal 500% range Jujutsu damage to select an enemy. And then if White Divine Dog is summoned before using the ultimate skill, deals an additional 300% range Jujutsu damage. What the hell? So that's like 500%. I mean, excuse me, 800% Jujutsu damage. And then if Black Divine Dog is summoned before using the ultimate skill, deals an additional 700% range Jujutsu damage and increases the selected enemy's damage received by 45% for 3 turns, 1,500 damage, and increasing their damage received, and ignores darkness status, and it'll summon Divine Dogs temporarily when using ultimate skill, and recovers own curse energy by 5 and increases ultimate gauge charge amount by 30% for 3 turns when the Black Divine Dog is not summoned. Okay. I'm gonna need this game to relax because this ultimate is amazing. Not only is the debuff ability, it also does a ton of damage. What is this? What the hell is this? And it increases your ultimate gauge charge amount too if you don't have the Black Divine Dog. So it gives you options even if you don't have the white or black dog. So you always have like this flexibility. Nah, that's crazy. Let me read up the passive skill now. I'll surpass you at the start bout, increases own damage by 100%. This is permanent, right? Nah, that's crazy. At the start of turn, reduces curse energy costs on skills when divine dogs are summoned. -5 per divine dog up to 10. I'm sorry. This is, bro, I am so sorry, bro. This Megaman is actually juiced, bro. Like, what the hell is this? That means this will be 20 cursed energy. I really can't. 20 cursed energy and 15 for skill 2. Just to keep maintaining them, right? Like you could just use them again. Nah, that's crazy. This passive skill right here is juiced. Divine Dog follow-up attack. 55% chance of Divine Dogs launching a follow-up attack when any allies perform command skill or ultimate skills. Combo ultimates are excluded. If an ally is attacking multiple enemies, target one random enemy. So if it's an AoE attack, then you target you'll hit one random enemy. And ignore darkness when attacking. Deals 100% range Jujutsu damage to the targeted enemy when Divine Dog is summoned. When Black Divine Dog is summoned, then you deal an additional 100% range Jujutsu damage and increases the target's enemy's Jujutsu damage received by 15% for 2 turns. And so he's going to do a ton of damage because he's going to be using his skills. His skills all do tremendous amounts of damage. His ultimate does a tremendous amount of damage if you have all your dogs out. On top of that, he increases all the damage that you do to the enemies. On top of that, he can increase his ultimate charge gauge, like charge amount or whatever. On top of that, he reduces his cursed energy costs on his skills, and he has follow-up attacks as well. He could follow up and debuff the enemy. He's like a mini Mai. Like, what the hell am I looking at right now? What is this? This guy is gonna make like nuke teams insane. I literally cannot believe they made a character like this. Like, you would kind of think straight, like, just looking at it, you'd be like, oh, it's just straightforward, super basic. But bro, he does so much. I need to see because, of course, keep in mind, it's only 20% of his HP when you summon them, like each of them. So judging on how much HP he'll have at max will kind of determine that, because if they just die like very rapidly, like if they just get hit immediately, it might it might trigger some inconsistencies when depending on the situation and what kind of skill effect you want. We'll kind of have to see. I'm definitely going to probably be pulling for this character. That this character is actually juiced. Like I literally cannot believe what I just read just now. Like I'm still in shock. This makes this character is literally the best partner for the new Nobara that we just got. Literally, there is no debate about it. He increasing Jujutsu damage and increasing his charge amount so that way he can ult, and then increasing all the damage he does to the enemy after he ults, and he has follow-up attack. I can't, man. I can't. This character is insane. Anyways, that's basically about it. I was gonna talk about the memory, but I'm not gonna lie, the video is already long as it is. So this we're just gonna end it off here. Yeah, Megumi Fushiguro. I'm not gonna lie. Should you summon? Man, I really want to say no because anniversary's right there and they might make someone even more cracked than he is. But man, is this Fushiguro so good. Yeah, that's it. Peace.